It's always funny when the freshmen walk by because they have, like, the strangest gossip. You can always tell it's freshmen because how much they're complaining and what they're complaining about, plus they're short. The super loud hum is brought by the generator. At least I think that's a generator. I mean, it could very well not be. I'm not an engineer. I'm also at school after school and kind of forgot to bring my script, so let's see how this goes. Okay, I haven't forgotten the topic that I promised that this video would be about, and it's gonna be about that, starting now. But first, for the record, I am in a new place right now, so I think this counts. Even if after this I'm going to move to a new location with movie magic. Movie magic. Today's weather is a giant glowing ball, which is actually the moon, shot through my dinky little telescope. In case you couldn't tell yet, I'm a bit of a nerd. And the song is Prom Night by Anamanaguchi. If you're not gonna look up the song, at least say the name. Anamanaguchi, Anamanaguchi. It's really fun. Good morning, he says, the moon behind him. I'm the reluctant conquistador. Today is March 17th, 2014, and today I'm gonna talk to you about nicknames. More specifically, my nicknames. Just a few more major ones. Let's go chronologically. It was 3rd grade and some of my friends had the last names Day, Cereal, and Reese. Day, like when you eat breakfast. Cereal, as in cereal. And Reese, well, it was the early day of the Reese's Pieces. So naturally, I became Eggo, like the waffle. At the beginning of 5th grade, we had a week-long class-wide camping trip. I wore what is still one of my favorite shirts, which was a picture of a cow that had an arrow pointing to it and said vaca. Vaca means cow in Spanish. Which is what I told my tent mates, and they're like, "Oh, you're la vaca!" And I'm like, "No, I'm El Vaca, because El is masculine, and I'm a guy, rah!" So some people called me El Vaca for the rest of 5th grade. Nothing of importance happened in middle school. That's just a general statement. Freshman year, I found that my friend group consisted of me and a lot of girls. This isn't a bad thing by any means, it's just unexpected. One of my friend's mothers was reminiscing from when she was in high school. Turns out she remembered a similar situation to mine. But back then it was Glenn and the girls. So now I'm Glenn. Being in the family that I'm in, we had the dinner conversation of what came up when you Googled yourself. All I could remember of who came up for mine was some conquistador guy. And then my dad was like, "Oh, Diego Fajardo, the reluctant conquistador. I don't want your gold. I just want to be friends. I didn't mean to give you typhoid." And so on. Later searches found that my memory was fuzzy and there weren't any conquistadors, but there was a Spaniard from the 1500s, so, it's close enough. It's really a joke among my immediate family, but I quite like it, and like what it stands for. I always thought of a reluctant conquistador as someone who didn't care for the colonization, but just wanted to explore, for the sake of exploration and adventure. And that's really what I'm doing here, I'm just exploring. If what I do here gets noticed, then cool, but that's not always the point of it. It's about finding cool things, and hopefully meeting some cool people, and giving myself an excuse to do some cool things. Speaking of cool things I got myself to do, I'm gonna let you guys out with some more moon footage.